We have been waiting 30 years for a new Mad Max film, and we finally got it. And it was everything that we hoped for and more. This movie was awesome. Really, 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 really awesome.
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 Excellent.
Yeah. If you're a big fan of the Mad Max films, then if you're a big fan of the Mad Max films and you're kind of on the fence about it, trust us. We are all fans of the series. Go see it. You have George Miller directing it. Yes, Mel Gibson's not in it, but Tom Hardy fills in the shoes perfectly.
He does.
And it's like the other Mad Max films. It does a great job having the feel of those movies while also being its own movie, which the other Mad Max films do as well. And this movie from beginning to end is extremely entertaining. It is long, but it's so entertaining. At least we had so much fun. I didn't mind it.
You never feel its length.
Yeah.
No, not really. And some highlights that I'll give out, and I'll let you all see what you found how to be. For me, one of the highlights is, yes, there's a lot of CGI, but there's also a lot of practical stuff too, especially with the cars. And as somebody who is, very strong in believing that we should keep as many practical effects as possible, this movie did that perfectly. It knew how to use CGI for its good things without excessively using CGI to the point where that's just...
It looks like a cartoon.
Exactly.
Like
and
Avengers.
after just seeing Avengers 2, which frankly that is what it was.
It was like watching a cartoon.
This was so refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
And
because this does it right.
It does it perfectly. And so that, along with, to go in part of that, also just the beautiful stunt work here. These are some brutal, bloody, so much fun. Just the stunt work is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I really like that I want to point out here is that Charlize Theron here is amazing. She plays one of the best strong female independent action characters I've seen in a very, very long time. And she does it so well. And not only does she do it well, but her character was written well. And it wasn't cheesy, it wasn't unbelievable. It was believable, it was well done. You could take her seriously, and she was a likable character, and she was an engaging character. And I like how her and Max, played by Tom Hardy, I like how their characters, how their chemistry kind of builds throughout the film, and how they grow to trust each other. And that was done very well. And they both have a kind of a similar arc, while still being different characters, but equally likable characters. And so, the only other highlight I want to point out is, this movie, for people who say that Hollywood is dead and that movies are dead and there's no originality whatsoever, they're just remaking the same movie over and over again, they can't come with anything new. Yes, this might be a sequel to a series from the 80s and 70s, but this movie is flowing with so much creativity. This movie is flowing with so much energy and ambition. And it never lets you down. It constantly stays fast-paced. And that's what made this movie so much fun. This movie is like a circus. I said that earlier. This movie is like a circus of freak cars that are awesome, and freakish characters that are awesome, and bizarre action scenes that are awesome. I really cannot recommend this movie enough. This is like the movie of the summer. At least so far. I really don't... I'm sure there will be...
Until Star Wars, maybe. I can't really think of anything else that I might like more than this year.
Yeah.
There will probably be some good movies that come out this summer. Well, of course there will be. But I really don't know if anything is going to top Mad Max this year, except maybe Star Wars. So those were my highlights.
How was the car stuff, Sebastian?
Yeah, well,
Very good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was realistic and insane, but fun. Insane, but fun, but in a realistic sense.
and even when it wasn't, it was still fun, right? It wasn't like frustrating.
What do you mean?
Well, even if there was something that was really insanely over the top, it wasn't like...
I didn't see anything that I wouldn't consider at least somewhat plausible.
in that world.
No.
All right, okay,
Most,
all right,
most, of,
that's
most,
fine.
of, most of the cars were built by actual speed shops and companies and rat rod and hot rod builders from around the world. I mean, most of these cars are functioning real vehicles.
Okay.
Even
Well,
like,
until they
even
were
like,
destroyed.
Even like the twin engine stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's real. People have
Yeah.
been doing that since like the 60s.
Yeah.
So I didn't see anything that was really stood out as super unrealistic. This wasn't some Fast and Furious bull crap. This was some high quality cars.
Yeah, Sebastian's a big car guy, so he's not a big fan of the Fast and Furious movies for their implausible, to say the least, stuff.
Car work.
But,
I don't know. Jumping through 2 buildings is a little stretching it, but I think they could have made that first one.
what, Joel, what were some highlights for you?
I don't know, just the whole movie. It really seemed like everybody involved in it, from the actors to the people who made the cars, just everybody working on it was just having a fun time, and that really shows through.
Oh, yeah.
So the whole movie's just great. People watching it have fun. It's just a fantastic film all around.
Well,
Absolutely.
I might have had too much fun because I guess I was annoying the people next to us.
You were marking out, dude. You were so into it. But that's fun though. Like, if you're watching a crappy movie, like if I was like watching Transformers and there were people next to me that were kind of like, "Oh, that's so awesome!" I just kind of. But if a movie is awesome, if I'm into it and I see other people that are into it, then that's just awesome. It's like it makes it more entertaining. So, but what were some highlights for you?
I mean, it was very, very good way to reinvigorate the Mad Max. I mean, it did everything right, and I like how it did. I think Tom Hardy did a fantastic job of filling Mel Gibson's shoes, and he did the same thing that he did in all the other Mad Max films about how, like, at the beginning he's kind of like, oh, I just want to do my own thing or whatever, but then he, learns to care and then helps them and stuff, and I think he did a really good job of filling the shoes.
And the neat thing about, and I touched about this briefly earlier when we were all talking about when we left the theater, like the other Mad Max films, Mad Max is not just doing everything by himself while everybody else that he's helping out just stands by and just like Mad Max is there, and if it wasn't for Mad Max, they wouldn't have succeeded in what they were trying to succeed. But at the same time, everybody...
He wouldn't have succeeded without them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, everyone else still contributes to the point where everyone is necessary. There's no, like, well, that character was useless. Like, every character that's, like, contributing contributes to the point where they were needed.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that in the other Mad Max films as well. Like, everyone is there. And so, even though Mad Max is the main character, and even though Mad Max is saving the day, so are other characters too. Yeah. And that's something we don't see too much in movies either. And so I like that a lot too. What was the other thing I wanted to say?
One thing that I liked about this movie that the other films, I mean, it might have been budget or just, the times, but this movie did a much better job of showing us the world. Going to different places and showing us different raider tribes and, this area and how the people live here and, how the people live here, and stuff like that. And going to different places on the wasteland and showing us this world that he's made. And I really liked that.
Yeah, for sure. You see different gangs and stuff, and again, flowing with creativity. They don't all just like blend together as looking like the exact same. Like every gang and tribe, if you will, like they all have their own unique look and style to them. And the action scenes that they're engaged in are all different. And that was something cool. For a movie where all the action scenes are on the road driving, and most of them are centered around that same car that they're driving throughout the film, each action scene was able to be a different spot, like a different kind of like, okay, what if they do this? Like, it was always different. And that's really cool. Like, I can just appreciate that so much. Needless to say, the wait was worth it. The wait was definitely worth it. And
hopefully we just don't have to wait 30 years for
well, and you know what? I hope we don't have to wait too long for the sequels, but at the same time,
don't rush him.
I hope he does continue to take his time, though. Obviously, George and I think Kennedy is his name, the other guy that makes these movies with him. They obviously wanted to make sure that they were making the best movie possible. mission accomplished. I just hope they don't get pressured too much into wanting to make another film so quickly that they drop the ball on it. So, yeah. So one more thing we'll do before we close. What was your favorite character or character moment? If you need, okay, I'll give you guys a second thing. I'll say mine. My favorite guy. He's in the trailer. One of the guys that's part of the villains' literal circus of wackos is this guy who's a guitarist who is strapped onto a is it like a truck?
It's like, well, he's hooked into a bungee harness.
Yeah, he's like bungee
Whatever.
hooked onto like a bunch of amp stacks, and he has a guitar that he is constantly playing when they're on the road, and he's just like strumming this heavy metal like chug riff, and the guitar has a flamethrower attached to him, and this dude looks
And
like
there's dudes in the back, like on the drums
and
and
yeah,
stuff.
on the
Oh.
other side of the car are people that are mounted like onto the car with bongo, like huge like tribe drums, and they're just banging. And the guitarist straight up looks like a member of Slipknot from the first
And he
album.
was playing the background music too. You could hear his
Throughout the film, yeah.
in the
And there's a
background.
great spot. It's kind of brief, but there's a great spot in the climactic fight where Max gets involved with the guitars, and it's super entertaining. So that was my favorite character moment. Do you guys have one in mind?
I'm just gonna have to say Max. I mean,
Just in general.
just in general, I love his character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tired man who survives because
He
he
survives.
just does.
Yeah.
But you know, he's tired, but he still continues on, and then he's just a general badass.
You know, there's times, and we see this in the other Mad Max films too. There's times where he just survives because he survived.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's his destiny to just keep moving forward, and it's his destiny to keep helping people out, even if he doesn't want to at first. Like that's his like mission in life, whether he wants it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, do you?
I gotta say, I really like the group of old ladies that they end up with, because in any other situation, you just expect them to not really be able to help much, but they easily kick as much ass as anybody
Oh,
else
yeah.
in the film.
This movie is in a good way. This movie is very feminist, I think.
Oh yeah.
In a very good way. It's done again. It was done right. It wasn't done cheesy or kind of shoved down your throat. It was done perfectly, and it was executed perfectly.
Mhm.
So I loved that. Do you?
My favorite character moment and character was the brother that lost his eyes.
Okay.
That with the crown made out of shells. And he's just oh
And they're
my
playing the
God.
classic music in the background. Oh, that was so great. This, oh man. All right, well, you know, I know we didn't really go into the plot or anything, but dude, just go see it. It's Mad Max. Mad Max is back. The madness is back. Go see it right now.